Dear learners, previously I have discussed about the selection of ornamental plants for home gardens. Today I am going to discuss about selection of ornamental plants for institutional gardens and corporates. Moving ahead, the selection of ornamental plants for institutional gardens and corporate involves choosing and cultivating plants primarily for their aesthetic and decorative qualities in a specific setting such as a school, university, government office or any other institutional place. This process is guided by considerations of design, climate, maintenance requirement and the overall purpose of the garden. The chief objectives of landscaping, industrial areas and the chief objectives of the landscaping in institutional and corporate areas includes to reduce the wind velocity by using tall evergreen trees, to reduce pollution caused by hazardous gases, to reduce noise pollution and to improve climatic conditions and improve the aesthetic values of adjoining areas. Here are the some factors to consider in the selection of ornamental plants for institutional gardens and corporate areas. The first, climate and hardline zones. Choose plants that well suited to the local climate and hardiness zone. This ensures they will thrive and require less maintenance. Consider the temperature range, precipitation and sunlight levels in your region. The next important thing is soil conditions. Evaluate the soil composition and pH of the garden area. Select plants that are adapted to these conditions. If the soil needs improvement, consider adding organic matter or amending it to create a suitable environment for your chosen plants. Then next thing is aesthetic appeal. Determine the desired theme or style for the garden. This could be a formal garden, a wildflower meadow, a tropical oasis or any other design that complements the institution or corporate surroundings. Choose plants with diverse colors, textures and shapes to create visual interest. Then another point of consideration is seasonal interest. Plan for year-round appeal by selecting plants that provide interest in different seasons. This includes flowering plants in spring and summer, colorful foliage in fall and evergreen plants for winter interest. Then most important thing is maintenance requirement. Consider the maintenance requirement of selected plants. Choose varieties that are disease resistant, pest resistant and require minimal care. Opt for native or adaptive plants that are well suited to the local ecosystem as they often require less maintenance. Next is water requirement. Select plant with water needs that align with the availability of irrigation in the garden. Consider drought tolerant plants if water conservation is a priority. Then size and scale. Pay attention to mature size of plants to ensure they fit the available space without overcrowding. Use a variety of plant sizes to create a sense of scale and depth of the garden. Then they should be wildlife friendly. Select flowering plants that attract pollinators such as bees, butterflies and hummingbirds. These plants contribute to the pollination of other plants in the garden. Minimize the use of pesticides to protect the health of wildlife. Pesticides can harm beneficial insects and disrupt the natural balance of the ecosystem. Choose a variety of flowering plants with different bloom times to provide continuous nectar sources. Then for durability and resilience, opt for the plants that are hardy and resilient to withstand various environmental conditions, diseases and potential disturbance. This is particularly important for institutional garden where long-term sustainability is desired. Then the purpose and theme of the garden. To align the plant selection with the purpose and theme of the institutional garden, whether it's creating a peaceful retreat, proportional biodiversity, or serving as educational purpose, the plant choices should support the intended goals. Then it's also important to consider the allergies and safety of the people. Be aware of the plants that may cause allergies or have toxic properties, especially in the areas of frequently used by people. Consider the safety and accessibility of the chosen plant, especially in public institution spaces. Avoid plants that may pose a threat to people or property. Then educational signage. Include educational signatures in the garden to inform visitors about the importance of wildlife friendly landscaping and the specific benefits of chosen plants. Ensure compliance with the invasive species guidelines and other environmental regulations. Now the components of institutional garden and now we will going to discuss about the components of an institutional garden. An institutional garden typically consists of various components designed to serve specific purposes and meet the needs of the institution and its community. Here are the some common parts or elements you might find in an institutional gardens. First, the entrance and pathways. Welcoming entrance with signing and possibility a gate. Well-designed pathways for easy navigation and accessibility. Next is planting bed. Raised beds or ground level planting areas for growing a variety of plants. Consider theme bed or specific sections for different types of plants. Next is most important component, that is plants. Diverse selection of plants including ornamental flowers, shrubs, trees and possibly edible plants. Then also consider to native plants to support local biodiversity. Roads are important for institutional garden which are kinked with the entry point. The roads and paths are firmly planted with medium flowering plants. Car parking place. A suitable car parking place is essential for visitors. Garden structures like trellises, pergolas or arbors for structural interest and to support climbing plants. Gazebos or pavilions for larger gathering spaces. Then the water features, fountain, ponds or water features for aesthetic appeal and potential wildlife habitat. Efficient irrigation system to ensure proper watering. Then we also dedicate a particular area for composting because composting organic waste generated within the garden. Then tool storage, shed or storage area for garden tools, equipment and supplies. Then adequate lighting for nighttime used and enhance the garden aesthetics. Use eco-friendly and energy efficient lighting options. Here are some common categories of plant you may want to consider for different purposes in institutional gardens like trees, shrubs, herbs, vine, grasses, etc. First, starting with the trees. Selection of trees and their location depend on the architectural style of the building. Trees with beautiful flowers and handsome foliage are grown in the boundaries of gardens. The first, ornamental trees like moss tree, ficus tree, albizia, devil's tree, rain tree, swamp tree, paradise tree, umbrella tree, These ornamental trees can be planted in a institutional gardens. Then next is the flowering trees like champas, peacock flower, bottle brush, Indian medlar, Bohenia, parrot tree, pride of India, Saraka. All these are the flowering trees which add color as well as texture to the institutional gardens. Next type is shrubs. Shrubs play an important role in an institutional landscaping. Border planting of shrubbery on large ground is used for filling the gaps between the trees and lawns. As we can see in this image, thuja is used for creating the borders. This one is the croton, eclypha, aralia. These are the shrubs plants used in institutional garden. Then next is flowering shrubs like jasmines, oleander, alamanda, musanda, candlebrush, china box, china rose, ixora. All these are the beautiful flowering shrubs. They add also color in the gardens. Then herbs. Herbs into an institutional garden can add both beauty and functionality. Ornamental herbs are selected for their attractive foliage, flower or overall form, making them visually appealing in addition to providing potential culinary or medicinal uses like lavender, rosemary, basil, oregano. All these are providing beauty as well as functionality to the institutional gardens. Then climbers and the next category is climbers and creepers. Beautiful and flowering climbers and creepers are used to grow over walls, trellis, pergolas, pillars or large trees and change the whole look like bougainvillea, garlic vine, cypress vine, passion flower, bleeding heart, butterfly pea, coral vine or money plant. These are used for the adding to the beauty to the walls or either fences in the institutional garden or in the any area of the garden. Next is topiary is the art and practice clipping and shearing of shrubs, small trees and herbaceous to develop a geometric or fantastic shapes. It increases the beauty of a garden. For topiary, the plant used are Duranta, juniper, stabulus, boxwood. All these plants can be used for the preparation of topiary in institutional gardens or any other gardens. Next is palm tree. It can be planted between the gaps of other plants on side of the main road or as a group planting like royal palm, cabbage palm, lady palm, bamboo palm, butterfly palm, bottle palm, today palm or cold palm. They are adding beauty to the roadside and also avenue plants. Aquatic ornamental plants may be planted in the pond like water lily, lotus, giant lotus or water flag. Then plants within a corporate environment could refer to the actual vegetation or greenery used for decoration or environmental purposes within a corporate office or facilities like syngonium, peace lily, cacti, money plant, Chinese evergreen, lucky bamboo, aloe, marble green. All these plants are creating indoor beauty to the corporate offices. The precautions in landscaping for institutional gardens are as below. Thorny plants should be avoided in roadside. Shade trees restricted to the border area, game court and aesthetic field. The use of cement or brick is not recommended in the recreational area. The front area should be planted with medium-sized trees. Prioritize safety by providing proper signage for the construction zones, potential hazard, or restricted areas. Avoid using harmful chemicals and opt for eco-friendly and sustainable landscaping practices. The importance of institutional and corporate gardens includes educational opportunities like institutional gardens serve as a valuable outdoor classrooms. They offer hands-on learning experiences for students, teaching them about plant life, cycles, ecosystems, and sustainable gardening practices. They also promoting health and well-being. Access to the green spaces has been linked to improve mental health and well-being. Institutional garden as well as corporate garden provide a tranquil environment that promotes relaxation, stress reduction, and overall emotional well-being. Cultural and artistic Cultural and artistic expressions. Garden can be designed to reflect cultural or artistic themes, providing a space for creative expressions and cultural enrichments. They also support biodiversity. Gardens with diverse plant species and habitats support local biodiversity. They attract pollinators, birds, and beneficial insects, contributing to the overall health of the ecosystem. Then, sustainable practices showcase garden can be designed to showcase sustainable and environmentally friendly practices, inspiring others to adopt similar approaches in their own spaces. They also add economic and social impact. Garden can have a positive economic impact by reducing landscaping cost, providing potential revenue from produce sales and fostering social connections within the community. That's all for today. Next, we will learn about the selection of avenue plants along the roads.